Breaking news this morning, Michigan's former Governor Rick Snyder was among those facing charges in the Flint water crisis. Coming up, the new decision that will mean no one will be punished criminally for the decisions that caused lead to contaminate the city's drinking water. Brandon, good morning.
Hey, Amy, good morning. Also new, fire crews rushed to the scene of a house fire on the city's west side. What we are learning about the efforts to save a person trapped inside the burning building. That is just ahead. Hey, Robin.
Hey, Brandon, we are live in Grosse Pointe Shores this morning where the city council approved a pit bull ban in a very close vote last night. We've got debate leading up to that decision in my live report.
Working for you. Fox 2 News Live at 11 starts now.
That's a decision that many people will be talking about in the Grosse Pointes for quite a while. We'll get to that in a moment. But first, good morning. Thank you for joining us. I am Brandon Hudson.
And I'm Amy Andrews. We begin with that breaking development in the Flint water scandal. The Michigan Supreme Court rejecting a last chance effort to revive criminal charges in the case.
Yeah, so those charges were filed against 9 people, including former Michigan Governor Rick Snyder, but were ruled unconstitutional in 2022. There's quite a bit to unpack here, so let's catch up to speed. The Attorney General's office used a one-judge grand jury to hear evidence and return indictments against the 9 people. But the state high court struck down the charges as invalid. State prosecutors then returned to Flint courts and argued the charges could be revived by simply refiling those documents. Well, that effort was also rejected all the way to the state Supreme Court. The decision, the latest one, was handed down earlier today. So far, no felony convictions or jail sentences have happened since state managers made the decision to switch Flint's water source to the Flint River without properly treating it, causing lead to leach from the pipes and into the city's drinking water.
Well, also new this morning, an early morning house fire sends at least one person to the hospital. It happened in the 5,000 block of Greenway Street on Detroit's west side. We're being told the fire broke out inside the home around 6 this morning. Crews responded, began putting out the fire and searching for anyone inside. One victim was located in the basement, and medics performed CPR before rushing him to the hospital. So far, no word on that man's condition or on the cause of the fire. Well, now to a controversial move being made by the city of Grosse Pointe Shores. Leaders approve a ban on pit bull breeds of dogs.
Yeah, at least one incident involving a pit bull led to this decision. On one side, they believe that the dogs are dangerous, but others say that the dogs are not the problem. It's the owners. Fox News' Robin Murdoch is working this story for us. She's been on this all morning. She joins us live now with the latest. Robin, this is not the first time that we have seen a Metro Detroit community forbid this breed of dog.
Yeah, you know, this is always a very controversial topic, Brandon and Amy, and as you can imagine, it was very heated at times inside Grosse Pointe Shores City Hall last night. In fact, I talked to one woman who attended the city council meeting, and she says that that was the largest turnout that she has ever seen at a council meeting before. There were a couple dozen people who actually took to the podium last night to sound off about pit bulls, and a vast majority of them were actually against the ban.
I'm a licensed vet tech. I've been in the field for over 10 years, and I have been faced with many vicious animals in my years, and the majority have not been pit bulls.
The possibility of a pit bull ban bringing out some passionate pleas in Grosse Pointe Shores on Tuesday night. Resident after resident sharing their insight, their stories, before the city council eventually approved the measure in a close 4-3 vote.
Pit bulls are very aggressive dogs. They need expert training, and most residents don't know how to handle a dog of that nature.
The vicious attack of a 14-year-old dog over the summer that required its leg to be amputated at the shoulder prompted the controversial proposal. In just 3 weeks, some 300 people signed a petition against the ban, many of them attending this latest council session.
I don't think banning the pit bull is the right answer. Take the responsibility of the owners of these dogs, and that's where it should start.
The ordinance is expected to take effect in about a month. Current owners would be grandfathered in as long as their dog is registered. They're also required to have $100,000 in insurance coverage for each pit bull and a 6-foot fence around their property.
I have taken care of, in my professional career, numerous dog bites. They're disfiguring. The Chihuahua doesn't do that.
Now, those against the ban say that they plan to get together to see if there is anything that can be done to stop it from happening, although they do know their chances are pretty slim. They say that everyone is suffering now because of this attack in June. We'll, of course, keep you posted on their efforts. We are live in Grosse Pointe Shores. I'm Robin Murdoch for Fox 2 News.
Robin, $100,000 in insurance for a dog is a lot of money, but I want to ask you about this attack in June. What can you tell us about what happened and where we are now with this?
You know, obviously a lot of people are very concerned about the situation. They want to make sure that it is safe for them to walk in the neighborhood where this attack happened. And from what we understand, that dog was ordered to be euthanized. It was ordered to be put down. So it does not appear that will be an issue anymore. But again, this fight over pit bulls being allowed in this community, it appears that it will continue. Back to you.
All right, Robin, we will stick on it. We appreciate it. Thank you for your report. Amy.
Well, a strike has been averted across the border. A tentative deal has been reached between Ford and the Canadian Auto Union known as Unifor. Workers were prepared to strike at midnight, but the deal was announced hours before that deadline. No details on the offer have been released. However, they will soon be presented to the rank and file for potential ratification. And all Unifor represents more than 5,600 Ford employees at plants across Canada.
And Big Three heading into day 6 of this strike. Right now, workers are walking the picket lines at Ford's plant in Wayne, a GM plant in Missouri, and the Stellantis Jeep plant in Toledo. UAW President Shawn Fain says if substantial progress is not made by Friday at noon, workers at more factories around the country may join in on the walkouts. One of the possible targets for a strike is believed to be the Ford truck plant in Dearborn.
We will be ready at a moment's notice. That's the largest assembly plant in the state of Michigan and the most profitable plant in North America.
The Big Three have made a number of proposals to the UAW, all of which have been turned down.
With the UAW strike now a nearly week old, the impact and cost of the walkout just continues to expand.
Yeah, we've already seen temporary layoffs at the Michigan Ford plant. Well, now Fox 2's Dave Kinchin says that some part suppliers are warning they may let workers go soon.
We're fighting, we're holding the line.
Arnisha Daniel is one of the many auto workers at Ford Michigan Assembly in Wayne, pushing through day 5 of the UAW's strike against the Big Three, with even more questions about the immediate future. And major changes are already happening in the industry.
We just want to stick together. We want to see things just move at a better and a progressive way for everybody.
Meanwhile, things are up in the air for the suppliers that provide the many small plastic and metal parts that go into American-made cars, particularly the smaller companies who might lay off workers in a major ripple effect.
This is troubling indeed because of the speed.
That's the reaction from automotive analyst Jan Griffiths to Mid-Michigan supplier CIE Nucor. It just announced plans to lay off nearly 300 workers due to the strike. Jan spent 35 years running global purchasing and supply chain operations in the auto business.
First of all, CIE is being smart by putting that notice out there now to notify their workforce and others that there's a layoff coming. And when you're in a situation like this as a tier 2 supplier, you have to conserve cash. You've got cash coming in for a few more weeks from the products you've already made. But then if you're not producing right now because of the strike, then there's no cash coming.
She says many other small suppliers will follow suit with layoffs if a deal is not reached between the UAW and Detroit automakers soon.
They're fragile right now because they've just recovered from COVID, barely, the chip crisis. They've had to deal with wage increases, transportation increases, utility increases, raw material increases, the cost of money. They're having to manage all of this. And now you have a strike that puts a dead stop on their incoming cash. And that's a problem.
And that was Dave Kenshin reporting. Meanwhile, the UAW reportedly plans to hold a practice picket at Stellantis headquarters in Auburn Hills. This follows rumors the automaker is closing several facilities. CNBC reports during negotiations last week, Stellantis disclosed that 18 facilities, including the Auburn Hills campus, may close. A company spokesperson says the main campus and tech center are not at risk, and any consolidation of real estate would be part of its electric vehicle transition. The facilities reportedly in question include the Trenton Engine Complex and the Mount Elliott Tool and Die plants, as well as Detroit warehouse and office spaces.
Some other news now. The Detroit Police Department takes action in response to a rough arrest, which is getting a lot of attention on social media. I want you to check out the cell video, which is under scrutiny. The department put 2 officers on administrative duty pending an investigation. And here's what we know about this. Officers arrested a 34-year-old man as police believe he tried to break into a car. But family members tell us it was his car with his keys locked inside. The incident is under review.
We will look at all body cam footage and see if there are situations of training that need to be addressed, or if these are situations where discipline may have to be administered.
Despite this getting emotional, officers did not fire their guns or deploy their tasers.